Hey everyone, welcome back to Firsthand Globetrotting. In today's travel vlog, I'll tell you all about my road trip to an American amusement park. But don't expect any huge roller coasters and wild rides. This trip was to Sesame Place, a children's theme park based on the Sesame Street characters. It's in Langhorne, Pennsylvania, near Philadelphia and close to the New Jersey border, so it made for a really easy road trip down the Interstate 95. Once we got there, it was pretty obvious that Sesame Place was the big draw in town. Elmo was even waiting in our hotel lobby to greet us. After the drive, the first night we just settled into our room and spent some time in the pool. And of course, we wanted to have some Philly food for dinner, so we got ourselves some hoagies. But the next morning was where the fun really started. We hopped on the hotel shuttle, and in under 10 minutes we were at the gates of Sesame Place waiting for it to open. As soon as you walk up to the front gate, you know you're at a Sesame Street theme park. There are pictures of the characters on every sign, music from the show playing in the background, and plenty of people with Sesame Street clothes and toys. As soon as we scanned our tickets and stepped inside, big sculptures of Elmo, Big Bird, and Snuffy were there to greet us. We got a 2-day ticket, so our plan on day one was to explore the park, figure out what looked fun, and of course ride as many rides as we could. The sun was shining, so it was shaping up to be a really great day. Our first stop was the dry rides. Because we got there right at opening time, the lines for the rides were actually pretty short. We got to try nearly every ride without much of a wait, which is great when you have an excited toddler with you. Most of them are Sesame Street variations on classic amusement park rides, like a Disco Teacups ride, an Elmo-themed swing ride, and Elmo's Flying Fish. There were quite a few that were okay for any age, but we found that as long as your child is 3 feet tall, they could ride nearly all the rides with an adult. This was definitely a huge plus, since it meant we didn't need to explain that some rides were off limits. So basically, the entire morning was just rides, and more rides. But eventually it was time for lunch, so we headed over to Cookie Monster's Cafe, one of the restaurants in the park. Like most amusement parks, the food selections were limited, expensive, and not all that great. But on the bright side, I don't think I've ever seen a bacon cheeseburger with this much bacon piled on it. After lunch, we made sure to catch the afternoon parade. The parades have a bunch of floats, Sesame Street characters, and performers singing and dancing down the main street. It was definitely a huge hit with the kids in the audience, since the characters came right up close to wave and interact with the crowd. I think that every character at the park was in the parade, so everyone got a chance to see their favorites going past them. After that, we were getting pretty hot, so we headed over to the water park to cool down. We spent most of our time on 2 slides. The first one is smaller and you come down in 1-person or 2-person tubes before splashing down into the pool at the end. The big benefit is that the lines weren't very long. The other slide is much bigger and your whole group sits together in one giant inner tube. There are some twists and turns and water sprays down from Rubber Ducky, but the highlight is the steeper part right at the end. The rest of the day we did some of the other standard water park things like floating down Big Bird's version of a lazy river and splashing around in Ernie's wading pool. It was a great first day, definitely a lot of fun things to keep us busy. I think that we spent around 7 hours in the park, so we were pretty tired at the end of the day. But we made sure to finish off the day with another taste of Philly, a Philly cheesesteak. On day 2, we woke up well rested and were ready for some more fun. But the weather had other plans for us. It was rainy and overcast, a huge difference from the beautiful sunny day we had yesterday. Normally that would have been a waste of a day, but honestly I actually think it turned out pretty well. First off, Sesame Park has a sunny day policy, so if it rains for more than an hour, you get free passes for another day. I was pretty happy to hear that. Luckily for us, we were able to extend our stay an extra day, so the rainy day ended up being more like a free bonus day. We made the most of it and made sure to catch the indoor shows. The first was Elmo the Musical, where Elmo and Cookie Monster solve a detective case together. Lots of singing and dancing and up-close views of the stars of the show. Just like in the parade, pretty much every kid loved seeing Elmo, and there was lots of singing and clapping along. The other show was Abby's Magic of Art. Just like the Elmo show, this one was a hit with the fans. Lots of other characters made an appearance, plenty of songs and dancing and other fun. Definitely a lot of excitement, and it seemed to keep most of the crowd entertained for the entire show. If it had been sunny both days, we probably wouldn't have seen either of the shows, so the rain was a bit of a blessing in disguise. The rain also gave us a chance to pop into some of the stores and check out all of the souvenirs. Don't worry, they have plenty of Sesame Street gear for you to spend your money on. We didn't stay quite as long on day 2 because of the rain, but still got to do a lot. The rain even let up enough that we were able to ride some of the rides and catch the afternoon parade again. On to day 3, and the weather is back to being perfect amusement park weather. So, of course, we rode plenty of our favorite rides, spent some more time at the water park, watched the afternoon parade, and all of the other stuff we wanted to do again. But we also had time for some new stuff. Sometimes as you walk around the park, you'll see some Sesame Street characters that you can pose for pictures with. Also, the more popular characters have scheduled photo op times. So, of course, we went to plenty of meet and greets around the park with Elmo, Abby, Big Bird, Cookie Monster, Grover, and the rest of the gang. The other thing we did was go to some of the water park attractions that weren't open the other days. There were a few extra water slides open, but the most interesting thing was the Count's giant water play area. It's filled with spraying water, little slides, big slides, and a bunch of other things. But the highlight is that every few minutes there's a countdown and a huge bucket of water tips over and falls on everyone down below. Definitely a great way to cool off on a hot day. We even found some time to stop by the 2 bigger coasters and try them out. These definitely aren't anywhere near the huge coasters you'll find at the bigger amusement parks, but they can be fun for older kids and adults who want a little bit more excitement than the teacups. They seemed really popular with all of the adults, with a lot of the parents taking turns between looking after the kids and riding the bigger coasters. Since it was our last day, we made sure to take advantage of every minute at the park. Near closing time, they had another nighttime parade. It was nearly identical to the afternoon one, but they bathed the parade route in blue light and have lights on all the floats. It actually felt more like a toddler dance party with all the kids up and dancing and clapping along with the parade. I was surprised at how many families stayed at the park all the way until the end. We ended up being at the park for over 10 hours. It was definitely a full day. And there was actually one extra treat as soon as the parade ended, a fireworks display. The fireworks were an amazing end to a really great few days at Sesame Place. Overall, it was everything I hoped for. A great park to bring young children to with plenty of rides, water slides, and characters to keep them entertained. And even as an adult, it was really great to see how much fun everyone was having. So that's my trip to Sesame Place Amusement Park. If you have any questions, ask them in the comments. And don't forget to like the video, share it with your friends, and of course, subscribe to my channel. Follow First Hand Globe on Twitter and First Hand Globetrotting on Instagram to see where I'm headed to next. And don't forget, it's an incredible world out there, so pick up your passport and do some first-hand globetrotting of your own.